Hi there guys, welcome to another Gaming Night board game video, and today we are playing Superstar Showdown from Gale Force 9. So obviously I picked this up from Amazon like most of the people here in the UK, and I've even painted up the figures. You can have a quick look here. Two of the figures I've done, Randy Orton and John Cena. I'll be playing John Cena, and with me I have D. Hey D.
Hi.
He'll be using Randy Orton. Okay, so just give you a quick description of how the game works. And then we'll also show you a little live gameplay turn, and then we'll come back with our verdict at the end. So, obviously, as you can imagine, we're playing one of the superstars. They have their own deck of cards. So you can see here, John Cena at the top there has 3 slam cards, 5 grapples, and so on and so on. What that does is works kind of like a rock, paper, scissors mechanic. If you play a grapple card, it can beat strike, and strike can beat maneuver, and maneuver beats grapple. But slam beats any of them, so slam is like a big KO punch. So when we choose these 3 slots. So in our turn, we start with 6 cards in our hand, and then we have to play 3 of them down here simultaneously. And there's a little logo on the side here that tells us what the different mechanics will be and stuff like that.
Plus you can play them face down as well.
Yeah. Then we reveal one at a time. So for example, in this situation, if I had like this, I'm just using these cards, but these are not. I'll come back to these cards in a minute. So for example, I've played a strike here, right? And then D will reveal his. So he reveals that, and he's got a maneuver. So we can see strike beats maneuver. So I've won the first tussle, and he'll discard his card, and then I'll get to do mine. So I can move 1 space. I can do a corner attack, and I can set up for the next card I play to give me extra movement. That's what those 3 abilities are there, and I can play them in any order. So for example, I could move and then do the set. Well, in this particular case it's not that relevant, but then we go to the next one. So we'll reveal the next one. I've got a grapple, he's got a slam. Slam beats as everything, so I discard mine, and then he wins that tussle, and then he'll do what his does, which is
obviously I've got 2 moves. So I've got an attack, which has a strength of 3 power. We'll explain it in a second. And then there's a setup to give myself +1 power for my next attack as well. So at this moment, it's worthwhile mentioning. So the way power attack works is you're going to do 3 points of damage to your opposition. So they have a choice. 3 cards. Basically, your deck is your endurance total. So you can either discard cards from your hand, 1 card for each power point, or you can take the top card from your deck. This is called giving up cards. The cards that you give up, so if Jason then gave up 3 cards, decided he wanted to do it from his top of his deck, then 3 cards, we generally don't look at them. I'm not sure if there is a hard and fast rule about it, but I now know I've weakened him by 3 points. That's pretty much how damage works. They
call that the performance, so you can see how his performance is happening. It's not relevant, it's just literally once you run out of cards, you're knocked out.
Exactly right. Good note there as well, so when you lose the round, lose the particular fight, the card that lost goes to the discard pile as well. And in Jason's case, his first card that he played had a +1 setup. Just because the next card lost doesn't mean that that's now forfeited.
Yeah.
As long as it's in this round, that can still have an effect on the 3rd card. So now if we reveal the 3rd card, for example.
Before we go on to that, I just want to show you moving quickly. So he's got 2 movement there. He can move diagonally or orthogonally, so you want to move 2 spaces. But you can only punch orthogonally, so he's moved into that situation, and now he hits me for 3 because he's adjacent to me, and that's where I'll give up 3 cards. Or if I have another way, if I had a block in my display, I could have blocked the damage. And then we go on to the 3rd one, which would be I've got a slam. So I win because slam beats everything. If just move your slam into this 3rd slot quickly. Because that's basically, we've tied now. We've both played a slam. So slam doesn't beat slam. We then have to take the top card from my deck to reveal. So, for example, I would have revealed a maneuver. D's revealed a grapple. Maneuver beats grapple. So I win. So then that one gets discarded, and now I act out my slam.
Yeah, so you still do the original card. That's just the tiebreaker to say who's actually winning that particular move.
And in this case, I can move 2 spaces and smash him for 4 with an attitude adjustment. But now, that's the end of the round, and I've won 2 tussles to 1. So that means I get a chance to pin D if I'm adjacent to him, which I am. What he then he has a choice of, he can either, if he has the card in his hand, which looks similar to this, see it says kick out with a little foot at the bottom there. he can discard this or can give it up, and that means he's kicked out of the pin. Or he can reveal top 3 cards of his deck. Let's have a quick look if he's going to kick out.
So you can choose, you have a free count, so the top 3 cards you're doing one at a time. If you reveal a kick out, like I did, then that means you've been kicked out, but each card that you flip is also given up, so then that goes to your opponent's
performance section.
So that's the performance section as well.
If of course, if you don't get a kick out, you're pinned and lose.
Yes, so there is a chance that you could lose on the first turn, depending on poor card drawing. But I think the way the game works is, out of your whole deck, you've got 6 cards which are used just for block, and then you've got multiple cards which have the block symbol. So for example, I've got this card, which is, it's a normal maneuver, but it also has a kick out symbol on there, so I could give that card up to also kick out of a pin as well. So there's multiple ways. I think it's very unlikely that you would lose on the very first turn, but there is that possibility.
Well, there we go. That's the basic mechanics. What we'll do is we'll play a couple of rounds quickly, and then we'll come back with a gameplay turn, and we'll play sort of a few rounds so you can see how the flow of the game works, and have an idea of which one of us is going to kick the other one's butt.
Unless, of course, I've beaten Jason in the first turn, like we said was unlikely, but it's going to happen.
No, we'll ignore that. Alright, so we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we are back for the live gameplay turn, or gameplay turn if you like. We've had like 3 or 4 turns already, and we've absolutely panel beaten.
Super aggressive.
That's my performance. I've hit Randy Orton quite a lot.
We literally haven't had 3 turns.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think anything's less than 5 damage.
And then I did 2 damage in the first turn, then I hit you for 10 last turn.
Well, that's a lot. And that's where we are down in the corner. We've literally just drawn up. This is my hand, so I'll give you guys a look. So I've got to play 3 cards face down. We're down there in the corner. So I'm thinking I might play that one first. And then I might go with that one. And then that one. So I've chosen my 3 cards. Now we can see what D chooses.
I think. Okay.
Okay. So reveal first place. I've got a strike.
I've got a grapple.
So as you can see there, grapple beats strike. So I've lost my diving power splash. Man, I was in the corner as well.
Oh, that could have been good. But instead, you're getting snap, scoops, power slam. Right. So it's got power 2 and it's got stun. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do power 2. So that's going to do 2 cards, but because John Cena's also in the turnbuckle, you get +1 power when you're hitting somebody in the corner.
That's because we got nowhere to back away from.
Yeah, so that's 3 damage to John Cena. So where are you going to take it from?
So I have a choice. I can either take some cards from my hand, or I can take from my deck. I'm just going to take 1 from my hand and 2 from my deck. So I'm giving up 3 cards to his performance track. So
I then also have a stun. So the way stun works is when you win with a card, you get to play a card from your hand for free, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it. So I think I'm then also going to do a European uppercut in the corner.
Oh.
So I'm going to just go. I'm not going to bother moving. I'm just going to do a power 2. Once again, he's still in the corner, so it's another 3 damage.
2, and I'm going to take another one from my hand.
So that's another 3. So that one will just go to my discard pile. So now we move on to the second card.
I've got
for a grapple.
I've got a maneuver.
Okay.
So as you can see, maneuver beats grapple. So I've won that one. But what that does is allows me to move 3 and then set up for a move and attack next turn. So I'm not going to do any damage to D, but I am going to move out of that bloody corner. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, I think. Actually, I might. Yeah, I'm going to go there. So I move 3 and then I set up for the rest of the 2. So now it's 1-1. He discards his losing card. So now we go to the final one. What do you got, D? What do you got?
Grapple.
I've got a strike. Ooh. Damn it! And mine was the moving one as well. One-handed.
That's lucky.
So I've lost that tussle.
So I've got power 3 is the only thing on there. So yeah, I'll just hit you in the face for 3 points again.
But I'm not I'm not orthogonal.
Yes, I've got no movement, so I can't. You can only attack or funnily rather than diagonal. So unfortunately, yeah, it's a card wasted
Big swing and a
per
miss.
se.
But you have won the tussle 2-1, so that means you pin me.
Yep.
And
So I'm
you are adjacent.
So you can pin from diagonal, but you can't attack from diagonal.
So I can now either choose to reveal 3 cards from the top of my deck and hope I get a kick out, or I can give up this, which I'm going to give up this. And then the cards we have on our area are discarded, and then we start the new turn by drawing 6 new cards.
You fill up to 6. So I've got 2 cards
Yep.
in hand, so I draw 4.
I had no cards in hand because I took a bit of a paggering. You guys saw what I had in my hand. Why I gave them up was because I wasn't getting enough attacks. So I've given them up to do some bit of a pounding on D this turn. I think... Ooh, this is interesting. I think I'm going to go with that one first. And then I'm going to go with that one next. And then I'll finish off with that one. It's probably, you guys can probably see a better combo there out of that. But I'm going to blame looking through the camera as my reason. Alright, so first thing, I've got a grapple.
Got a strike.
Grapple beats strike. Oh yeah.
I do have a reversal.
So what that means is he's lost this tussle in terms of card play. But if he can play something from his hand now that beats me, then I've lost.
So I need to play either a maneuver or a
Slam.
I can do that. So I'm going to replace that with my fancy footwork. So now, instead, my maneuver beats his grapple. So Jason is actually now the losing card, so I managed to reverse it.
Sad face.
So I've got a movement of 4, and it was another reversal, but I think just a standard movement of 4 will be good. I think I'll just dance around him with some fancy footwork.
Alright, let's go with the next one. I got a slam.
I got a slam.
Alright, so because we've tied, we have to reveal the top card of our deck. I got 1 card
I
left.
don't have a deck yet, so I need to shuffle my discard pile.
Aww.
Right, let's go.
I got a
Yeah,
block.
grapple. Yeah! So blocks always lose. So that goes to discard pile, so it means that I have successfully RKO'd him. This is bad for Jason. Very bad. So it's got movement 3, a power 4, and a stun. So I'm gonna.
I think John Cena can be seen now.
I can I'm going to start by doing a power 4 power hit on you.
Alright, so just to give you guys, I've got no cards in my discard pile, and I have 3 cards in my hand. But I do have some cards in my discard pile. So I have to give up, what is it, 4?
4 cards, yeah.
Okay. I am going to give up 2 from my hand. And then I have to reshuffle my discard pile. If at any point you cannot give up cards for any reason or discard cards, then you lose.
You are knocked out.
So I'll give you 2 already, yeah?
Yes,
So I need 2 more. There you go.
Right, so I've got a stun. So that means that I can play another card and can do nothing about it. So I'm then going to do an elevated DDT.
Oh!
Power 4 and another stun. So I'll be taking another 4, please.
Well, there's 4 in my deck. There you go.
So
I'm teetering on the brink of destruction here.
Jason is literally on the edge. Then I've got another stun.
Yeah.
So play another card. I'm going to opt not to.
Ah, you wuss.
Because the card I have in hand, it's not going to be any use.
It's a block,
So,
isn't it?
Straight to the 3rd card, shall we? Got me a strike.
I've got a strike too.
Oh, so top card.
Yep, now this is just look. I've got no cards there, no cards there. So I cannot, because we've tied, I cannot reveal another card. And I have gone down.
As I booted you in the midsection.
And Randy Orton wins. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks so much.
I had 1 card left as well.
Nah, that was the most aggressive game I've played of this so far. Like,
Yeah.
The first turn, I think Jason hit me for 11 points of damage.
Yep.
Then the second turn, he hit me for another 5. And then the third turn, I hit him for 11 points of damage. Man, that's hideous amounts.
Instead of switching off to go to the final thoughts, we might as well do it now.
Yeah, go for it.
This is our second game now that we've played in the last like half an hour. because we played. I played. What was the guy I played? Daniel Bryan. I played Daniel Bryan, and you played.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and I won that one. Also, exact same way as well. You couldn't flip over a card because
exactly the same.
Pagged you that so much.
It was to try and break a tie for playing a card that we didn't have another card to flip as well. So.
But I actually think this game's quite fun. I actually really like it. I painted up all the figures. I'll show you guys some of the other figures as well. I painted up some of the figures to make the game just look a little cooler. And it's actually a really solid game. I mean, I know I said I picked this up at Amazon for really cheap. But even still, I think this game is well worth it. And I think they've actually gone down in price again. You've got a copy of this as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got my own copy of this as well, which once again I bought it for the same price, so 10 quid. Obviously, it may not be, I think it might be worth a little bit less than 10 quid at the moment on Amazon, I'm not sure. Obviously, when people view this, it might be a completely different price because it seems to be going
up and down, isn't it?
Down so much. But yeah, I bought this game because I am a WWE fan. So obviously, I watch the shows as well, so I thought it was a natural fit. Really like Gale Force 9 as a games development company.
They're becoming one of my favourite game. I mean, they make this obviously, which is good fun. I'm not a big wrestling fan like D is, but I don't mind wrestling. But they do Spartacus, they do Firefly, they do Sons of Anarchy, all really top class games. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, like I said, I just think it's thematic wise, it just fits in terms of you're literally playing some cards and beating the crap out of each other.
You really are.
Pretty much what wrestling is. It's not fake, really. But yeah, I really like the mechanic side of things with the rock, paper, scissors and the trump of slam beating everything.
Is that the Spock one?
Yeah, the lizard and the Spock, for anybody that gets that. Yeah, I just think it's also easily expandable. So unbelievably easily expandable. And I really do hope that Gale Force 9 have already considered it and are in the process of making some, because you could, so I was saying to Jason earlier before we start playing our first game, that you can make so many more characters from the current roster. You could do all of like the legends from back in the past. You could have like your Hulk Hogan's and your
Ultimate Warrior
coming down.
You got to play the music as well. Just clothesline my opponents.
Absolutely. In game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's quite interesting as well that on the base cards that you get, it tells you the breakdown of the cards as well. So when you're playing your cards, you might then be thinking, so I was thinking against Jason, he's got a lot of strikes, so my grapples are going to be good because he's going to have majority of strikes, I'm going to have majority of grapples. So, but then there's also that bluffing side of things that we may have thought, because I've got so many, I maybe don't want to play that and try and play something a little bit different. And yeah, I think it's really clever how the game goes. And obviously this is just a basic match. There's a couple of variant rules as well.
Yeah, it comes with you got like different cards
and different types of matches.
So you can play
how long you want to play for as well. So
those, and it comes with quite a lot of stuff. There's cards we showed you in the beginning, by the way, that we were showing you how the rules work.
I've got mine laid up here. These golden ones.
They're actually like experience cards. Like for example, in this case, now say D1, he would get say 60 experience or whatever the case may be, and then he can spend that experience in top corner here to add these to his deck for the next match. So you get like different types of events and things you can play.
Yeah. So I think like the officially it's like you make an event, so whether that be WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, whichever, or make up your own, of course. And then, so for example, this is a head-to-head fight. Whoever wins scores 30 ranking points, and then for your next game that you have, you would then spend the ranking points based in the top, and you would add that to your deck, which then gives you an extra couple of cards, and also that means you've got an extra couple of damage that you can take as well, because it's more cards in your deck.
And they're slightly more powerful as well. I mean, for example, like this one's got a block, kick out, and reversal. So it's really useful.
Yeah, really universal, that one.
I like this one. Power 4 and a stun. Smash someone in the...
As we saw in that last game, stun, if it works, is really useful because they can do nothing about it afterwards as well. So
I'm a big fan of this game as well. Like I said, I'm not overly fussed about wrestling in general. I watch it if it's on. I'm not going out of my way to watch it. But I think the mechanics of this game works really smooth. It's really fun. It's actually quite fun as well when you're playing the cards down and you're trying to outthink what your opponent's doing, but at the same time you've only got a limited supply of what you can play. So it's really clever, and surprisingly, these figures are not bad to paint up as well. Considering the type of game it is, this is not I wouldn't class as a miniatures game. It's a a card game with some miniature tokens. But they are actually pretty good figures to paint up. I had quite a lot of fun painting them. I obviously changed the basing as well. Sun's actually shining for the one time this year in the UK, and now it's ruining my video.
Bring back the rain. No.
But how much would you give this out of 10?
I think I would give it a solid 7.5. I think.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think I'd give it 7.5 as well. Maybe even 8, because the game is quite fun. It's really fast.
Yeah, that's one thing I think is really important with it is it's not a long game. You could almost say this is a slightly medium length filler game. Right?
Yeah.
Once you know how to play it, and maybe if you've got an understanding of like particular characters and how their combos work, you could easily get a game done in 10-15 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean we played 2 games in a half an hour, and that was with filming as well, which is really, really good. So there you go. Well done, Gale Force 9. We really like this. We hope you bring out some more bits and pieces for it. That would be a lot of fun, especially now that everyone has it.
Yeah, I think it could potentially be a very smart move by Gale Force 9. The fact that the base set was sold quite cheap, so people have invested into it, and now if they look at doing expansions, they've already got the base set out there, and the game mechanics are good. The game is really simple, and in all fairness, also for like people who have kids, like when you're obviously growing up a bit, and maybe if they're watching wrestling, this sort of game, they could easily play as well. It's not difficult to understand in any way. Obviously, there's a couple of things which combos that maybe the younger players won't get, but it's be enjoyable for the younger and the older. I think so. Yeah, really good move by Gale Force 9. Hopefully, some decent expansions and bring out some cool characters.
Woohoo! Thanks for watching, guys.